Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha Shruti Smriti Purahananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavatyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namah Om Shri Medha Dakshinamurti Swamine Namah Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayana Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinem Bhagavatem Ashtadashadhyayinem Ambatvamanusandadami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutah Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sankapadakramopanishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samaga Dhyanavastitadadgatena Manasam Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantanna Vidusura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. So namaste once again everyone. Okay. So we have entered the 11th chapter and we have completed the first sloka also. Now second sloka we will chant. Bhavapyayau hi bhutanam.
Bhavapyayau hi bhutanam.
Only one person I heard chanting.
No, I didn't unmute.
Okay, once more.
Okay.
Bhavapyayau hi bhutanam.
Bhavapyayau
hi
bhutanam
Shrutau vistarasho maya.
Shrutau
Vistaristo Maya
Tvattak kamala patraksha
Tvattap Kamala Patraksha
Patraksha you should not say because this is Sambodhana, isn't it? Tvattak kamala patraksha
Tvattap Kamala Patraksha
Mahatmyamapi chavyayam.
Mahatmyam Apichavyam.
Good. So we entered the topic of Vishwarupa Ishwara Darshanam in the last class. And as I said, this is a very important chapter for transitioning into the Charama Shatka, that is the chapters from 13 to 18. And that is why in the scheme of the Gita teaching, it has been placed strategically just before the last part, the last 16 chapters. Sorry, last 6 chapters, which broadly deals with Jiva Ishvara Aikya. Now one may ask, what is so significant about this chapter? Because one thing that is common in every devotee is that he or she always has a desire for Ishvara Darshana, a desire for Ishvara Sakshatkara. Nothing will please the devotee more other than the Lord Himself appearing before him or her, even for a few moments. And in the scriptures also, this Ishvara Darshanam is talked about very often, especially in the Puranas. We get the description of the devotees having darshanam of the Lord. And it is described as thrilling, extraordinary experience for a devotee. It's a very fulfilling experience, an elevating experience. And this is how the scriptures talk about the devotees' Ishvara Darshan. Of course, it's a different matter that if indeed the Lord does appear, how the devotee will react, nobody knows. Anyway, that's a aside, because Pujya Swamiji used to say, we will travel, miles and miles and miles and go to a temple. And then inside there will be the Garbhagraham, the Sanctum Sanctorum will be all dark. You won't be able to see the idol. So what happened? There will be puja going on and all, Abhishekam, and then finally they will show the Karpuram, this Karpura Harati. And that time only you can see the Lord, at least the idol of the Lord, bit clearly. But at that time, the devotee is so immersed in devotion that he would close his eye and then keep praying. So even that small glimpse which he gets, opportunity he gets to see the idol, he will miss that opportunity. And these are all, not very relevant for what we are teaching, but just like that, Pujya Swamiji used to say this. Therefore, if the Lord does appear, we don't know what will be our reaction. But the fact remains that the true devotee can wait patiently for years and years with the hope of getting a darshanam of the Lord. And it is not just some statement made like that. We have the classic story in Ramayana of Shabari waiting for a glimpse of Lord Rama for several years. And at last, Rama gives darshanam to Shabari, and the thrilling experience that she goes through is described. We have even another example in the recent times, Saint Tyagaraja. And he is thrilled, even thrilled when he sings about Shabari's darshanam of Rama. He himself has not got the darshanam, but when he is singing about Shabari's darshanam, he is thrilled. And similarly, we get the description of Krishna darshanam by various devotees in the Bhagavatam. And in all of them, Ishvara darshanam is described as a wonderful and an almost mystic type of experience. And here we should understand that any experience involves two things. Whether it is Ishvara darshanam, the experience of the Lord, or that for that matter, any other experience, every experience involves two things. One is the object of experience, which should be available. And it is not enough that the object of experience is available. We also require a subject of experience. An experiencer is required who is prepared enough to appreciate the experience. Therefore, the importance of preparation on the part of the subject is very, very important. Swami Paramatmananda, gives a very classic example, beautiful example. He says, take the example of Carnatic music program by some great musician like M.S. Subbalakshmi or Dr. Balamurali Krishna, etc. But even though the music program is there, unless the listener has got some idea about what is Carnatic music, the names of the ragas and their nuances, some idea of the meaning of the various compositions, etc., if the listener does not have some background, that is, if the person does not have a prepared mind, even though the object of experience is available, but he still does not enjoy the experience. He does not get the impact. And that is not because of lack of object. It is because of the lack of sensitization, lack of preparation on the part of the listener. And generally what happens is, we focus on the object of experience, we emphasize the object of experience, but seldom do we give importance to the preparedness on the part of the subject of experience. And this is not only true with regard to any experience in the world, this is true with regard to Ishvara Darshanam also. When Rama gave darshanam to Shabari and other devotees, they enjoy the thrill, happiness, and we think that they got Ishvara Darshana Ananda because Rama gave darshanam. But we forget that it is not Rama's contribution alone. It is also the contribution of those devotees who have prepared their mind through sadhana. And it is not difficult to prove this logically also. Because the very same Rama was available for Ravana also. But what happened? Nothing happened. Remember, Shabari thirsted, craved for Rama Darshanam for years. And finally, she got only a glimpse of Rama. The darshanam was for a very limited time only, and she was thrilled. But Ravana got Rama darshanam for days together, which was of no use. In fact, Rama even gave an opportunity to Ravana to repent and release Sita without a fight. But the Adharmik Ravana did not have a prepared mind. Therefore, the object was available, but there was no prepared mind to get the impact of the darshan. And therefore, it follows that if Rama darshanam should give an impact, contribution of Rama alone is not enough. For Rama darshanam to give the thrill, give that extraordinary impact, there must be preparedness on the part of the person also who is seeking the darshanam. And if the person is not prepared, even God will be helpless, isn't it? Like in the case of Ravana, even Rama was helpless. Because even though he gave darshanam, it made no difference to Ravana. Same was the case with Kamsa also, through Krishna darshanam. In fact, Kamsa had Krishna darshanam all the time. Right from the childhood of Krishna. But that never had any impact on him. He never changed from adharma. And we hear, so many other stories also in the Puranas, Rakshasas doing tapas. And the Lord appears in front and asks them, I am very pleased with your tapas. Please ask me what boon you want. But there is no change in their mind. They use that Ishvara Darshanam for negative purposes only. They ask for boons for destroying people. We have heard the story of Bhasmasura. What did he do? He abused Ishvara Darshan. And therefore, the point, very, very important point to be noted, to be remembered is, for Ishvara Darshanam to be Ishvara Darshanam in the true sense, I should go through tremendous preparation. Without my preparation, even if Ishvara comes in right in front of me, nothing will happen. And there will be no change in me. And therefore, Krishna's description of Vishwarupa Ishvara in chapter 7, 9 and 10 is nothing but understanding and appreciation that the Lord is in the form of the very universe itself. And therefore, if you know the meaning of Vishwarupa Ishvara, you will never crave for any other type of darshana. You will know that Vishwarupa Ishvara is right in front of me all the time. And even when I close my eyes, he is available for my experience in the form of sound, smell, touch, and taste. And that is why in Vishnu Sahasranama, what is the very first Nama? Vishwam. Then only, Vishnu, Vashatkara, etc. follows. So the first Nama of the Lord itself is Vishwam. Vishwam means the universe. The very universe is Ishwarasya Rupam only. And therefore the object of experience, namely Vishwarupa Ishvara, is already available in front of all of us. But if we do not get the impact of Vishwarupa Darshanam, if we do not get the thrill of Vishwarupa Darshanam, the problem is not with Vishwarupa Ishvara. He has come and is standing in front of us even before our birth. He is ever ready. The Lord as the universe is available 24/7. But if you do not feel the Ishvara Darshanam, the problem is not with regard to the availability of Ishvara, but it is with regard to the non-preparedness of the seeker, the devotee. Okay, now what do you mean by preparedness? This preparedness is nothing but purity of mind, which is the reduction of the Shadripus, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. All these impurities of the mind, they all like cataract, they are obstructing the vision of the already available Lord. When the cataract in the form of the obstacle of Kama, Krodha, impurity, Ahankara, Mamakara, the impurity, which has been covering my vision, is removed, then I need not wait for God to come and give darshanam. I begin to appreciate the Lord in the form of already available Vishwarupam. So this is the most significant message, the profound teaching which Krishna wants to impart to the whole world. And here, Arjuna is only a nimitta for that. And therefore, this chapter starts with Arjuna summarizing what Krishna has taught till now in the first two slokas. To a large extent, the delusion, the confusion, and the ethical conflict which he faced in the first chapter is resolved, which he expressly admits. So at this stage, Arjuna is able to understand at the intellectual level that the Lord is the Jagat Karanam and the Lord alone is manifesting as the world. He understands that the Lord as the Karanam is available in and through all the Nama Rupas of this universe. But he does not get the impact of Ishvara Darshana. So Arjuna's problem is the same as ours. We never think, whenever we are experiencing the world, whenever we are seeing so many objects, variety of objects, not only on the earth, but in the cosmos also, in the sky also. We never think that we have got Vishwarupa Ishvara Darshanam. Even though technically, logically, the Lord is always available in the front. And therefore, what is missing? A prepared mind. An ahankara, mamakara, rahita mind. And that prepared mind is called the third eye or Divya Chakshu. So just as we saw in the example of Carnatic music, the program remaining the same, one person is thrilled by the music, other person does not get any impact. There is no defect in the hearing of both persons. Both of them hear the singing very clearly. But for one person, nothing happens because to appreciate, you should have a musical ear, as they say. Similarly, Arjuna is missing Divya Chakshu. And of course, it applies to all of us also. And this Divya Chakshu is nothing but mental purity. And therefore, in the slokas that follow, as I said, up to the 8th sloka, Arjuna will request Krishna whether he can help in getting the darshan. And let us also tag along our request also to that of Arjuna. Okay. Let us pray to Krishna that give us also Divya Chakshu so that we can have Ishvara Darshan. So now let us come back to the sloka number 2, which we were discussing in the last class. And as I said, in this sloka, Arjuna starts by glorifying Krishna by addressing him as He Kamalapatraksha, O Lord, who has beautiful eyes like the lotus petals. He implies that your inner beauty is reflecting in your external beauty through your eyes. Your compassionate nature is reflecting through your external beauty. And as we were discussing in this sloka, he is summarizing Krishna's teachings on Ishvara Swarupa Varnana, which he dealt with in chapters 7, 9 and 10, in which he defined God as Jagat Karanam, more particularly as Upadana Karanam, the material cause of the universe. So Arjuna says, Bhavapyayau hi bhutanam. Bhava api ayau. Being the Jagat Karanam, you are the Srishti, Sthiti and Laya Karanam of the entire Jagat. So this whole creation of things and beings, Tvattaha, is from you alone. You are the very Adhara, the very Ashraya, the very substratum of the universe. That means what? If waves are born out of the ocean and resolve into the ocean, what is the conclusion I get? That there are no waves separate from the ocean. In fact, the name wave is only an additional name given to the very ocean itself. Similarly, the whole creation is like a wave in the ocean of God. In fact, Shankaracharya beautifully presents this idea in Atma Bodha. He says, Upadhane khiladhare jaganti parameshware sargastiti layani yanti budbudani vavarini. So here, instead of the wave example, he gives the example of bubbles in water. He says the entire cosmos of several billions of galaxies is nothing but bubbles. So each galaxy can be compared to a small bubble. And all these bubbles of galaxies are rising from whom? Upadane khiladare. There are no bubbles separate from the ocean. Similarly, there is no creation separate from the God, or to put it in another language, God is in the form of the world. So Arjuna says, all these I heard very clearly. Shrutau means this was heard by me. Maya Shrutau. And how did you teach? Vistarashah, very elaborately. In fact, you will find that these Upanishadic teachers, I can't generalize, but many of them, they are not very patient. They give Srishti, all this Prakriya, etc., within few mantras. 2-3 lines, they will deal with it and then get on. As we saw earlier in Taittiriya Upanishad also, isn't it? Tasmad vaye, tasmat atmana akasha sambhutah. So from Atma, Akasha is born. Akashat vayuhu vayo ragni agne rabhadbhyo prithvi. Prithivya osadaya osadibhyo nam annat purushah. So right from the both abhinna nimitta upadana karanam brahman up to purusha, all finished in few words. Because Upanishad's main purpose is not to deal elaborately with the Srishti Prakriya. Their purpose is to focus on the teaching of Atma, Jiva Ishvara Aikyam. That is the main, Mahavakyam is the main purpose of Upanishad teaching. So the whole Srishti Prakriya, many times we will find is over in 2-3 lines, maximum 2-3 mantras. And we are supposed to grasp it immediately. Otherwise, we will be labeled as Mandadhikari and asked to go and come later after gaining more sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. So the Upanishad assumes that the student needs only a crisp teaching, because the Upanishad students are supposed to be Uttama Adhikaris. Whereas in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna represents Madhyama Adhikari. The main character of Madhyama Adhikari is, even if he is not understanding everything that is being taught, he will persevere. He will not say, oh, I am not getting bored. He will not say, I am getting bored. He will try his best to understand what is being said, what is being taught. And here Krishna being Jagat Guru, compassionate Guru, he has no problem in repeating whatever he has said. Again and again, Arjuna asks, Krishna will repeat. And therefore Arjuna says, Vistarashaha. Where what he said in the 7th chapter, he repeated in the 9th chapter. Where Krishna knows, and Arjuna also knows that by the time we come to the 9th chapter, 7th chapter is forgotten because the 8th chapter has intervened. And Arjuna was taught a totally different aspect of Kramamukti, which we took 10 weeks to complete. And therefore, naturally, the 7th chapter is too far away to remember. Therefore, when Krishna came to the 9th chapter, he taught as though it was fresh. So, Maya Vistarashaha Srutau Tvattaha. And not only you taught this, Mahatmyam Apicha Avyayam. In the 10th chapter, you also revealed your glories, which are strewn or spread all over the universe. If you have to appreciate the glory of the Lord as Krishna, then they are particular individual glories which have to be found in Bhagavatam. 10th chapter, I think you can read. There you read Bhagavan killed Rakshasa, this Rakshasa, that Rakshasa. He lifted this, this Govardhana Parvatam with this, this small finger, little finger. So there are so many, that particular description attributable to that particular form of the Lord. And if you want to learn about Rama Mahima, listen to Ramayana. But if you want to appreciate Vishwarupa Mahima, which book you have to refer to? You need not refer to any book. Excuse me. All that you have to do is open your eyes. And you will see the Lord's vibhuti, the Lord's glory everywhere. And therefore, this Vishwarupa vibhuti is Avyayam. Avyayam here means inexhaustible. So, Ekarupa Ishwara Mahima is Vyayam, exhaustible. Whereas Vishwarupa Ishwara Mahima is Avyayam, limitless. And Arjuna continues, he says that you also talked about in the 10th chapter all these things, the glories. Therefore, Jiva Swarupam has been talked about in the first 6 chapters. Ishwara Swarupam has been talked about. Ishwara Mahatmyam, that is Ishwara Vibhuti, also you talked about. All of them I have heard very well. And because of my understanding, my delusion is gone, though not totally. Because if Arjuna's delusion and confusion had gone totally, Gita would have ended there. The very fact that Gita continues till the 18th chapter indicates that even though part of the delusion is gone, but still some more is there. Only in the 18th chapter it is completely gone when Arjuna says, Nashto mohaha smritir labdhva. And having said that, all these things in the second sloka, Arjuna now makes a request as to what he wants Krishna to teach hereafter. Let us see what his request is. We will chant the 3rd sloka. Evametadyata tattvam
त्वम्
Atmanam Parameshwara
आत्मानं
परमेश्वर
परमेश्वर
Drashtumichami te Rupam
द्रष्टुमिच्छामि ते रूपम्
Ishwaram Purushottama.
ईश्वरं पुरुषोत्तमः
So Anvaya is He Parameshwara, Etat evam yatha tvam atha atmanam he purushottama drashtum michami te Ishwaram Rupam. Aishwaram Rupam it should be. Ishwarasya Rupa, Aishwaram Rupam. So, He Parameshwara, O Lord, Etat, it is, Evam, just so, Yata Tvam Atha, as you describe, Atmanam, yourself, He Purushottama, O Lord, Drashtumichami, I desire to see, Te Aishwaram Rupam, your divine form. So, just as you describe yourself, O Lord, I desire to see your divine form. So, if you notice, Arjuna, in every verse, adds one or two words of Lord's glory. In the previous verse, he said Kamalapatraksha. And here he adds two words, Parameshwara and Purushottama. Parameshwara means the Supreme Lord, the controller, the one who has created the world, not only created the world, but the one who sustains the world by maintaining the physical laws of creation. Therefore, Parama Ishwaraha, Sthiti Karana Bhutaha, you are. And not only that, you are Purushottama also. Purushottama also means the Supreme Lord, the greatest Lord. And the word Purushottama has got a philosophical significance also, which Krishna himself will teach in the 15th chapter. In fact, the 15th chapter is titled Purushottama Yoga only. And there Krishna will point out that Purushottama is Nirgunam Brahma. These details we will see later when we come to that chapter. Here we will take the simple meaning of the word as the Supreme Lord. Now here is an interesting thing. Because generally and conventionally, Parameshwara is used for Lord Shiva. Of course, even Vishnu is Parameshwara. But the word Purushottama is conventionally used for Vishnu. Even though we can say Shiva is also Purushottama. Therefore, by using these two words, Vyasacharya, through Arjuna, wants to make it clear that Shiva and Vishnu are one and the same. And therefore, the message is, hey devotees, hey Shaivites and Vaishnavites, please do not quarrel. You can use the names interchangeably. So Arjuna says, hey Krishna, etat yata tvam atha evam. Whatever you are teaching me is perfectly understandable. I have no difficulty in accepting the teaching because it is a very systematic teaching. If Bhagavan is the cause and the world is the effect, the logical consequence is that the effect cannot be separate from the cause. And therefore, the world cannot be separate from God. That is the very logical conclusion. And if the world is not separate from God, then all the non-glories of the world also should naturally belong to the Lord, isn't it? And once you understand that, because of that understanding, I have no resistance in accepting the teaching. Therefore, yata tvam atta evam. So Arjuna is once again reassuring Krishna that he has been a keen student like all of you and has followed the teaching so far. And to reinforce that he has understood the teaching, he says your teaching was about Atmanah, Atmanam. Sorry. Teaching was about Atmanam, means yourself. So you are teaching or talking about yourself because description of God means what? Description of Krishna only, because Krishna is the Lord. And therefore, what you say about the Lord is perfectly acceptable. But then I have a problem. And what is that? See, this but, is a very significant but. It means everything is fine, but. And that is why Krishna has to continue till the 18th chapter, till that but disappears. And here also Arjuna says but. What is that but? He says intellectually I am able to understand that the whole world must be divine because the whole world is manifestation of God. Therefore, there is nothing that is unholy. Everything is sacred, everything is holy, everything has to be worshipped. So there is nothing that I cannot accept or reject. And therefore, there is no question of dividing the world into acceptable and non-acceptable, because when the whole creation is God, how can I look down upon anything? Therefore, if I have thoroughly assimilated this teaching, I should be able to look at the entire world as divine. And if I am able to look at the world as divine, then I should never develop dvesha towards anything, anyone. But my problem is what? On the one side, I say everything is God. But when I come to interaction, there is heavy raga dvesha, strong likes and dislikes. So therefore, there is inconsistency, there is a discrepancy, there is a gap between what I know and what I am. My intellectual personality and emotional personalities, they are not well harmonized. And therefore, Krishna, you should help me in harmonization. That means what? Whenever I look at this world, I should be able to have as much joy as I get in the darshan of any form of Lord, in any temple or any form of Lord I see. That ananda which I get, I should be able to get in the appreciation of everything in the creation also. But that is not happening. So now tell me what I should do to bridge this gap. Therefore, he puts forth his request. Te rupam aishwaram drashtum ichchami. I would like to have the Vishwarupa Darshanam when I am interacting with the world. Puja Swamiji used to say that in our culture, we do not have the sacred secular division at all. In many other cultures, sacred means obtaining in one part of the creation, especially in places of worship, and outside that, everything is secular and not sacred. They even go to the extent of differentiating between the Lord and the devil. But for a Hindu or for a Vaidika, there is nothing called secular. Everything is sacred. For us, eating is puja. Brushing the teeth is puja. Taking baths, snanam is puja. Everything that I do is puja. And that attitude will come only if I remember that I am always in association with, I am always in the presence of the Lord. And therefore Arjuna asks, how can I have that darshan of that Aishwaram Rupam? And therefore, He Krishna, He Parameshwara, He Purushottama, you should help me in establishing that contact with that Vishwarupa Ishwara. You should help me. And this is Arjuna's request. And as I said, we can tag our request also. And Arjuna continues further and says, we will read the fourth sloka. All of you ready?
Yes.
Manyase yadi tat shakyam
Manyase yadi
Satyam
maya drashtumiti prabho
maya
Maya
drashtumiti Prabhu
Prabhu
yogeshwara tato me tvam
Yogeshwara
Yogeshwara
me
me tvam
Tvam
darshayatmanam avyayam.
Darsayam
Hey Prabhu, yadi manyase iti tat shakyam drashtum maya tatah tvam darshaya me avyayam atmanam he yogeshwara. Hey Prabhu, O Lord, yadi manyase, if you consider iti that, tat shakyam, it is possible, it can be, drashtum, seen, maya by me, tatah then, tvam darshayame, you should show me, avyayam atmanam, your inexhaustible form, he Yogeshwara, O Lord. So, O Lord, if you consider that it can be seen by me, what? Vishwarupa Darshanam, then you show me your inexhaustible form, O Lord. So we have seen that the object of perception is available. Vishwarupa is available. But still, if I do not see, the defect must be only with me, the observer, isn't it? There must be some problem with me. And that is why I do not feel the divinity when I experience the world. And therefore, hey Krishna, is it possible at all for me to have that divinity or Vishwarupa Darshanam? Tat drashtum shakyam yadi manyase. Suppose you think that you can prepare me to have the darshan, then please help me, because normally purity of mind cannot be brought about overnight. It is a tedious and time-consuming process which requires a lot of karma yoga, a lot of upasana. It is an evolutionary process. And you will find that transformation is always gradual. And therefore, here Arjuna is asking, hey Krishna, is there any temporary method, quick fix, by which I will get a pure mind for that glimpse of Vishwarupa? Therefore, he asks, yadi tat shakyam, if it is possible for me, Hey Yogeshwara. So again here Arjuna addresses Krishna appropriately. Yogeshwara means the Lord of miraculous powers. So, hey Krishna, can you use your miraculous powers and temporarily remove the scales of impurity, the cover of impurity from my mind, from my eyes, and allow me to enjoy the Vishwarupa Darshanam. So, hey Yogeshwara, Tataha, then, may Atmanam Darshaya, may you show the Vishwarupam to me. And here also we have to be very careful. He says, may you show the Vishwarupam. Really speaking, there is no question of showing the Vishwarupam because Vishwarupam is available right in front. And therefore, here what Arjuna means is by asking for showing the Vishwarupam, he means may you temporarily remove the obstacles of my mind. Atmanam here means yourself, the reflexive pronoun. Avyayam means inexhaustible form. Because Vishwarupa does not have Ekarupa. Vishwarupa is Anekarupa Ishvara. And since Vishwarupa Ishvara has infinite forms, inexhaustible number of forms, Arjuna uses the word Avyayam. Of course, when all this pleading is done by a sincere student, Krishna is impressed. And as I said, he is a compassionate teacher. He does not tell Arjuna, no, you should not try shortcuts and all. And ask me to remove the obstacles, even if temporarily. You have to work on it. He does not ask Arjuna to continue doing Karma Yoga and Upasana, gain some more Sadhana Chatushte Sampatti, and then come back. Instead, he says in the next 4 slokas, 5 to 8, he says, I will also give you, he says, I will give you a temporary solution for your problem. Of course, we will see the details later when we read the slokas. But first, let us read the slokas, all 4 slokas together. And I will give Anvaya for each verse and then give the explanation for all of them together. Okay, because the idea is the same. Okay, now be ready for chanting 4 slokas. Shri Bhagavanuvacha.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha.
Uchacha.
Pashya me partha rupani.
Pashya me partha rupani.
Pani.
Shatashota sahasrashah.
Sukashota sahasraha.
Nana vidani divyani.
Nana vidhani divyani.
Yani.
Nana varna kritani cha.
Nana varnani cha.
So the Anvaya of this sloka is Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. He Partha, Pashyame Divyani Rupani, Nana Vidani cha, Nana Varna Akritani, Nana Varna Akritini, Shatasaha Ata Sahasrashaha. So Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Lord said, Hey Partha, O Arjuna, Pashya, see, me divya rupani, my divine forms, nana vidani, of various kinds, cha nana varna akritani, of various colors and forms, shatasaha, in hundreds, Ata sahasrashah, and in thousands. The Lord said, O Arjuna, see my divine forms of various kinds, various colors and forms, in hundreds and in thousands. Now in 6th verse we will read. Pashyadityan vasun rudran.
Pashyadityan vasun rudran.
Ashvinau marutasthatha.
Ashvino marutastha.
Bahunya drishta purvani.
Bahunyatishta purvani.
Purvani.
Pashyascharyaani bharata.
Pashyasharyani bharata.
Parvata.
Anvaya is He Bharata. Pashya Adityan Vasoon Rudran Ashvinau Tatha Maruta hai. Pashya Bahuni Ascharyani Adrishta Purvani. O He Bharata. O Arjuna. Pashya si. Adityan. Adityas. Vasoon, Vasus, Rudran, Rudras, Ashvinav, Ashwins, Tata Maruta hai, the Maruts. Pashya si Bahuni Ascharyani, many wonders, Adrishta Purvani, which are not seen before. O Arjuna, see Adityas, Vasus, Rudras, Ashwins and Maruts. See many wonders which are not seen before. Now verse number 7. Iha ekastam jagat krishnam.
Ihekastam jagat krishnam.
Pashyadya sacharacharam.
Pashyadya
Charam.
Mama dehe gudakesha.
Mama dehe gudakesha.
Yachanyad drashtumichase.
Chanyam drushtamichasi.
Anvaya is he gudakesha. Pashya iha adya mama dehe krishnam jagate. Sachara acharam ekastam cha anyat yat ichasi drashtum. He Gudakesha, O Arjuna, Pashya, see, Iha Adya, here and now, Mama Dehe, in my body, Krishnam Jagate, the entire universe, Sacharacharam, with movable and immovables, Ekastam, placed together, Cha Anyat, and also anything else, Yat Ichasi, that you desire, Drashtum, to see. O Arjuna, see here and now in my body, the entire universe with the movable and immovables placed together, and also anything else that you desire to see. Now verse number 8. Natumam shakyase drashtum. Natumam shakyase drashtum. Anenaiva swachakshusha. Divyam dadami te chakshuhu. Pashyame yogamaishwaram. So Anvaya is tu na shakyase drashtum mam anena yeva swachakshusha. Te dadami divyam chakshuhu pashyame aishwaram yogam. Tu, however, na shakyase drashtum, you cannot see mam, me, anena yeva, with this ordinary swachakshusha eye of yours. Te dadami, I shall give you divyam chakshuhu, a divine eye. Pashyame, see me, aishwaram yogam, my divine power. So Krishna says, however, Arjuna, you cannot see me with this ordinary eye of yours. I shall give you a divine eye to see my divine power. So as I said, as we discussed, even though Vishwarupa is right in front of me, if I have to get the impact of Vishwarupa Darshanam, I should have the prepared mind, which is called Divya Chakshu or purification. And this purification, as I said, is a very slow, long drawn, gradual process. So more we will see in the next class. Okay. I will explain all these 4 slokas in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Thank you all very much. Dhanyavadaha. Dhanyavadaha.
Thank you very much, Guruji.
Thank you. Thank you.
Guruji,
Very thrilling.
Guruji, thank you.
Namaste, Guru. Thank you. Yes, Narayanji.
this, when I was doing my undergraduation,
Hmm.
from Delhi, I shifted to Madras University. We had Hindi as one of the subjects. Maths, physics, chemistry, Hindi, and of course English. Hindi, we had a poetry called Rashmi Rati by one poet, one author, Dinakar.
Yeah.
So then
Ram
only,
Bali.
that is where I got an eye opener about some portion of the Mahabharata. And it was predominantly oriented towards Karna. And that where, when Krishna goes as an ambassador, or you can say as a peacemaker between the Pandavas and Kauravas, with that proposal of 5 villages, like that. So that is when Duryodhana, I believe, I remember vaguely, ordered Karna to go and bind him. I believe that is when he shows his Vishwarupa.
Okay. That also
And,
you might have shown. Yeah.
and he said, after showing his Karna Bandhi se, Karna Bandhi se, he's showing slowly one by one. Come and tie me the whole lot.
Okay.
That's how
I have not.
this is all some 60 years back that I
Yeah,
had.
understand. Yeah. No, there are so many, beautiful such stories are there in our, so many poets have actually dealt with so many of these kind of things. Very poetically also, rather. So they're all, for us, we have got the background of all that. Finally, we come and we have to connect it with all these teachings of Bhagavad Gita.
Correct. Now, does it mean he had shown the Vishwarupa once then?
Yes.
And now again, because now he is in the battlefield already.
Yeah, exactly.
So he had gone for negotiation, it failed.
Yeah.
That is when they're going into the war. And
That is true.
as per the what should I say, normal norms or whatever you call it, an ambassador is not supposed to be, he's supposed to be received with honors.
Yeah,
And
same thing we know,
he's
but Hanuman also
he's-
the same thing happened,
He's supposed to be seen
Yeah.
off, not try to bind him and take him as a prisoner.
Yeah, but
That
that's
is
what
never
Duryodhana
allowed.
did. See, this is what happens, people who are adharmic people,
Hmm.
they will never bother about all these things.
They will stoop down to anything.
To stoop down to anything. These rules are meant for dharmic people. Right? Even today we are seeing, we have got all this UN charter and so many things are there. But when
Correct.
it comes to adharmic people, they don't bother, they just walk into and do whatever they want to do. So that has always been there. And in fact, in Dwapara Yuga, it was worst. In Kali Yuga, it is still worse. Because this is increasing only. This adharma is increasing.
Absolutely. Without any reason, they wage a war.
Yeah.
It's
Without
going on.
anything. Same thing, I mean, earlier also that Saddam Hussein, chemical weapon, this, that, and all. Finally, now they say, no, there was nothing like that.
They
So
got
that is,
nothing.
I mean, this is how, these adharmic people, they behave. So what to do?
They want to flex their muscle and try to, demonstrate their superiority. In
Exactly.
the meanwhile, they get, they blacken their face and go.
Yeah.
They failed in Vietnam, everywhere. Now, what I'm coming to, that means in Bhagavad Gita time also is showing the Vishwarupa separately to Arjuna, is it?
No, but there is a difference.
Hmm.
I think in Mahabharata, he is when he goes as the ambassador,
Hmm.
there when he is showing the Vishwarupa, Karna does not give him the divine chakshu, the divya chakshu he doesn't give.
Hmm.
He says, you are going to bound me, or bind me. I am in the form of everything. Whom are you going to bind? That is the introduction to the fact that Krishna is actually not what he appears to be. He is in the form of everything, which unfortunately Karna doesn't understand, Duryodhana doesn't understand. And they still play games with him. But of course, Krishna, because of his power, he escapes that. Right. So, in fact,
It
I've
is to
seen.
Duryodhana, not to Karna.
No, that's Duryodhana. Duryodhana.
Duryodhana orders Karna to bind.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Arrest.
saying. So, Krishna says, whom will you bind? What will you bind? Because I am in the form of everything. So, what will you bind? I mean,
No,
if I am a single person, you can bind me. But if I am in the form of a tree, I am in the form of an elephant, I am in the form of a tiger, what are all you going
does
to
he display himself to be that?
I don't know because I have not studied that part of Mahabharata. But I guess that because later on, Krishna here says, nobody has seen this form of mine before you, Arjuna.
Okay.
Later on, it will come in this very chapter. He will say, tell Arjuna, you are the first one to see my Divya Rupam, my divine form like this. Nobody else has seen this. So when Krishna is saying this in the Bhagavad Gita, that means that this is the first time he is actually disclosing his Divya Rupam to Arjuna only. He has not done it anywhere else. So that's a very strong indication. I will explain that when we come to that. He says it twice. Not once, he says it twice.
Okay.
And he says, you are blessed, Arjuna, because you got this opportunity when nobody else has seen this. It's not very easy for people to see this. Because you asked me, I gave you the Divya Chakshu. Temporarily, you could see all these things. And then you appreciate also. Even then, we are in the 11th chapter. After doing all these things, also Arjuna carried on till the 18th chapter.
That's what, as per that OM, it said no, when he shows his Vishwarupa, the place is absolutely dazzling. They are all blinded by his Vishwarupa. Then they do not know whom to bind.
Yeah, but that is also possible. That is because now the Yogeshwara definition is there. So, apart from this, Krishna as a Lord has got miraculous powers. So, he could have duplicated himself, multiplicated himself in wherever, I am here, some movies and all we see.
You're right.
So, like that, it is possible that he actually dazzled and then they could not see which is real Krishna, like standing in front of a hall of mirrors. So they were some movies and all. I think this has been used. That villain will try to go and hit the hero, and he will be in a glass, room full of mirrors, and he will not know where the real person is.
Absolutely.
That is possible. I mean, that is one possibility that Krishna is using his yoga powers to confuse.
Possibly, yes.
That is possible. But Divya, this Vishwarupa Darshanam, he has given only to Arjuna.
Arjuna, okay.
Yeah.
That's what he said. You need to have a divine eye to see
Exactly.
me.
You need to have, and that Krishna is not going to give divine eye to everybody. You come, please come. I'm running an optician shop and I'll fit you with a divine eye. No.
Correct.
Arjuna has asked all these things, and in the beginning itself, he's pleading with him, please, please. So that is why Krishna says, okay, as an exceptional case, I'll give you this.
But I thought Krishna was gradually building up to say, who am I?
Correct. He has built up that.
Hmm.
But he wants to know that student should ask.
True. Hmm.
Student should ask what he wants. Because Arjuna had the option to say, okay, all these things you have told Krishna now, actually, it doesn't make any sense to me. So we will stop here and we will continue later on, and I will, come back with more sadhana, chatushtaya, sampatti and all. He could have said that one option. But Arjuna, being a very sincere student, committed student, really interested in what Krishna is teaching. Of course, as I said, Arjuna is only a nimittam for all these things. Krishna is giving this whole teaching to the world. How
Correct.
you can all coexist together. The whole problem comes from this raga dvesha, and I like this, I don't like this. So what I don't like, I will destroy. So that is our basic problem, And this likes and dislikes, they are all coming from where? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. From that, all these raga dveshas are generated out of that only. So Krishna here says, the moment you start understanding this entire world all as form of God only, then you will not have all this raga dvesha.
True.
And in fact, it's a very sad state of affairs. Even many of our acharyas, they have this problem. They are unable to see even now, after all these things. Because I remember in my childhood, once I was in Delhi, Sringeri Paramacharya, he had visited, right? In that, there is a Sringeri ashram there.
South Indian Samaj or something.
No, Sringeri ashram in Vasant Vihar.
Vasant Vihar, correct.
There is a ashram. I had gone there. My mother's uncle was some person dealing
Management
with
side, okay.
management side. So he had told the Shankaracharya is coming. So I had gone there. I was a young boy, maybe in my teens rather. So there, what happened? I was standing there. Then there was one person who had brought flowers, for offering to Shankaracharya, garlands and all. That fellow was wearing a lungi.
Oh.
Okay. And he
Not a
was
good.
standing in one corner. After giving all the flowers and all, he also was, with all devotion, he wanted to meet or see Shankaracharya. So this fellow was standing, and that I remember that whatever his program was there, the chief guest was this Nurul Hasan.
Oh.
He was the education minister or something at that time, Nurul Hasan. He was the chief guest.
Okay.
So I was standing there, this flower fellow was standing there, and Shankaracharya, that whole, this thing came, motorcade came, he got down. Of course, everybody maintains distance and all. No, we must not touch Shankaracharya and all that.
Correct.
Then suddenly, his devotees, they, pounded upon that fellow, that flower fellow. What are you doing here? Standing? Get out of the way. Acharya is coming, get out of the way.
Oh.
And they threw him out of that place. I got shocked. Because that time itself, we normally think, first of all, we have some sort of a compassion, sympathy for poor
Correct.
people.
Yeah.
The fellow, what garland he has, flowers he has brought, you are going to use it. And in fact, I was surprised that Shankaracharya took one garland, he garlanded the Nurul Hasan.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, that further shocked me.
In
fact, those days, I used to have a very, very poor idea about all these acharyas. religious leaders and all. I used to argue with people that all this and give this example and all that. And another case, this Kanchi Acharya, they've got rules, their widows should not come in front.
Correct.
All those rules are there.
Yes.
Now, of course, nobody explains why the such rule is there, but it's all coming from all these kind of likes and dislikes.
And they used to promulgate dress code also.
Yeah,
Ganji Kamagoti used to come, they used to promulgate dress code for gents
dress
and
code,
ladies.
yeah, exactly. You cannot go with pant shirt and all. You have to
Yes.
wear vesti and the
Correct.
Sankavastram, bare-bodied. All
Yes,
those
yes.
things are there. So, why all these things? Those days, for me, it was very difficult to understand and all as a young child, impressive. Because in one another program, this Jayendra Saraswati had come. And there was a lot of, huge crowd was there. Some Velak Puja or something was to be done.
Mhm.
So there, lot of ladies were widows, everybody was there. Then the organizers came, they asked all the widows to go out of the pandal.
Oh Lord.
Only these people should be there. And I saw him standing on the stage and directing people that you please, I don't want to see them, remove them from here.
Mhm.
By mistake also, they don't want to see. So I don't know, there must be some very good reason for all these things. I am not aware of that. Even now, I am not aware what are the dharmic rules in that respect for a sannyasi. But that what type of sannyasi are they that they follow? But we have got other sannyasis like Swami Paramathananda, Dayanand Saraswati, etc. They don't follow any of these rules.
Correct.
So, where does this say that they should not see the widows? They should not look at a person with lungi and all that. I mean, maybe there, but nobody has taught all these things. So, I have got my own reservations about some of these practices. But here, the whole approach of Krishna is that only. Rise above all these things, every person, everything. When you see a serpent, it's a beautiful creature, right? If you see God in that serpent, you will give it milk and then do namaskaram. Otherwise, what will you do? Take one stick and start hitting it. Because it is not, you don't see it as a God.
Absolutely.
So that is a change of attitude, change of perspective. That is what has to come if Bhagavad Gita learning has to become successful.
Thank you very much, Guruji. Namaskaram.
Namaskar. Namaskar. Hari. Yes, Sulekha ji, I thought you had raised your hands. Your question resolved.
Thank you. Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
I had a question regarding the Vishwarupa Darshan. And my question is, it's something that that Arjuna was being shown that was not visible to the eye. To me, it seemed that it was more about insight rather than eyesight to see the glory of God's glory. And you had mentioned in today's class as well that it's a very long process, a very slow process to develop one's own self. I'm paraphrasing you, to be able to receive that type of a understanding or to receive that type of knowledge that involves sadhana, sampati, chayashta sampati, and it requires a lot of chitta shuddhi that we develop. So the idea, it's not so much a question, it's a comment. I just want clarification if I'm understanding correctly, that the idea of a Vishwarupa Darshan, to be able to see what's not there, rather than just seeing what is here in our world, in our universe, to be able to understand the universality behind all of these names and forms. And that can't be done through our body, mind, senses. So how does one develop this, and I know you've said in many classes in many different ways that, but yet my mind is still not understanding this idea that that we see beyond, or we understand beyond what we can actually uh, know with our senses, with our current instrument. How does one get to the beyond stage? And I'm not at all anxious or rushing that stage, but I'm just wondering, is that process of removal process of where we remove the dross, like you had said in your examples, where we remove the likes and dislikes so that the glory of the oneness can be understood? Maybe I'm not fully explaining myself, but that was my sort of comment as well as some clarification, if you can, please.
See, it is it's not that we are not doing it already. I'll ask you one question. When you go to a temple and when you see an idol, what do you see there? Are you with me? Oh, I think internet has dropped off. Anyhow, I think she is locked out. I mean, okay, Ramuji, you are the only one online. So we'll close the class, continue in the next class.